Margaret, I am super excited to have this conversation with you. To have you on the other side of the screen to do something like this, like it really warms my heart. It's emotional for me for many reasons. And for people who are watching this, I would love if you could share with us how your life was. Where were you before you and I started working together? And what was your situation?
Yeah, well, my situation was I was working my ass off in a job that wasn't fulfilling. I was in a relationship that was pretty passionless, dead, very challenging, stressed out, had been giving to my family, to my relationship, to my job, and I was basically just flatlining. My mom passed away, and after many years of taking care of her, and when she died, I woke up. Right, I realized that if I didn't get right with myself, that life was going to look pretty miserable. Right? And I remember talking to you at our first conversation and saying that I was going to die if I didn't do something about it.
Yeah, and we almost didn't get to work together, remember? Yes, because when we talked, your level of commitment was still, you were so scared, but you were not committed to making the changes. Then you decided that this was for you, and then we started. And so what was your first big breakthrough when you and I started working together?
I think right away, my first breakthroughs were just managing my mood every day, right? So I was used to feeling fine, but not good. And so I just worked really hard. I was really committed to that right out of the gate, just feeling better in moment to moment and working with my mindset. And that was big right out of the gate. Yeah.
What would you say happened when you started clearing that space in terms of the big challenge that we went through initially?
Well, then it became really clear that my relationship wasn't working.
And what happened?
So, it ended. So, I mean, what happened was I was feeling better, and then I wanted my relationship to reflect how I was feeling and the goals I was starting to develop for my life. And he wasn't so happy about that because there was a big change.
Yeah.
And so basically we tried to work on it a little bit, but that didn't work. So I had to get out of that relationship with 2 small children, and that was really hard.
Yeah. What would you say was the hardest thing about making that decision and actually going through with it?
I mean, one, aside from kind of the normal worries about what's going to happen to my children, are they going to be okay? I think it was mostly, I had spent probably 10 years kind of thinking about it and really indecisive about it and thinking that, well, maybe that life isn't possible for me. Maybe a happy life isn't possible for me. So to be able to take a leap into the unknown, into a lot of uncertainty, that was the hardest part. But once the decision was made, it was much easier. And I had, of course, you holding my hand, virtually holding my hand through the process. Yeah.
Yeah. Then once you did that, you went through this challenge of letting go of a relationship that you've had for like a decade or more, right, with children. Then you had another set of challenges, which was to actually redesign your life and to decide what you wanted to do, because you were still working for a hospital. You were not very excited about it. And what would you say was the next stage for you in our work together?
It was, number one, taking action, right? And putting some of my dreams kind of into a practical, how are we going to get there? But mostly, I think the biggest chunk was just working with my mindset and my belief system. And I am really good at doing. I'm really good at doing things. I'm really good at achieving things, but that doesn't mean anything if you don't actually believe that the life you're trying to create is possible.
Yeah.
And so I really worked on myself in terms of changing how I thought about what was possible.
Yeah.
It wasn't just in the sky. It was more deep internal belief system that life, which I saw for lots of other people, was actually possible for me.
Yeah, I remember you came to Austin the first time in one of my workshops, and you had a pretty big realization. You wanted to work with men, and you had a bit of a challenge with that. What do you remember what that was?
Yes, I do. That was a big, yeah. So my whole career path was starting to look to working with individually with men, and then I realized that I hated men. So that was eye-opening for me, and then I addressed it, and then everything has kind of unfolded since then.
Yeah. So what would you say on the second stage? Could you share just a little bit of what were some of the belief systems that were holding you back? Because when we talk about changing your life and we talk about belief systems, people think, oh, well, it's new age bullshit, whatever, but it really impacts the direction of your life, ultimately your destiny. In your case, what were some of the beliefs that you had as to what you could make shit happen?
Well, I mean, mostly from whence I came, right? So from my childhood, from growing up in a dysfunctional home, from having a string of kind of unhealthy relationships and feeling like I'm a good person, but maybe that life isn't for me. Maybe I can't have abundance, and I don't mean abundance in a new agey way, right?
Sure.
I know what you're talking about, but I mean, maybe the love I dream of isn't possible for me, or maybe having money isn't possible for me. I see other people, sure, I get it, but maybe there's something flawed about me that's not my destiny.
Yeah. I'm curious also because you got to experience something different. You've been a licensed therapist, you have a PhD, and you've been working with people for a long time. What surprised you the first time you and I met at the workshop in the way that I interacted with people?
Your ability to cut through the BS, right? And to really get to the heart of the matter with very little time, right? So to really cut through to seeing people for the person that they're going to develop into, like seeing the greater purpose of that person and cutting through their limiting beliefs in a way that they can't see, and also working through the past stuff. I'm a trauma therapist, and working through the things and the blocks that have been holding them back in a very efficient, powerful, compassionate but tough love kind of way, right? So.
Before we talk about the last breakthrough that I've seen you have, which is huge, I think and we'll talk about it in a second. What has been your experience in two areas that we've been working through? One is opening your heart, and one is setting boundaries, and how much this affects everything else.
So my direct answer is that experience much more joy. Right? Like I experience joy on a deeper level, on a real level, much more often. I don't know if I ever did experience joy before. So that's what's happened. Opening my heart, I feel connected to people. I feel like I can give to my clients in a much pure and effective way. I'm a better parent with my heart open, much better parent. And I feel like I've raised my standards in a way that I have better people in my life, closer friendships. Some relationships and friendships fell away that were no longer serving me. And now I feel like I have good people around me, and more good is coming. So,
yeah. How do you feel about setting boundaries?
It's not something you just do once and then it's done, right? You continue to practice. I feel good about it because every time I do it, I feel like a stronger human being. And then only the good people get through, right? So, I don't have as much drama.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So there's not that drama or toxic people kind of weighing me down. I feel freer. Like I can actually focus my energy on what I want to focus my energy on without being wrapped up in someone else's BS.
Yeah.
And if there is BS, I just sort of sidestep.
Yeah. So I'd love to chat about a couple of things now for your last breakthrough. One was the creation of a program that's pretty amazing in terms of supporting a group of people that are heroes that nobody talks about usually and nobody supports, which is firefighters, something you really dedicated so much time to. And also the creation of your business, which right now provides you more than what you made working for a hospital, working on your own a lot less hours. So if you could share a little bit about what it was like for you to create this program for firefighters, and then we'll talk about your business.
Really exciting, really passion driven. sometimes overwhelming with both emotion and responsibility, right? Like something I care deeply about. And then I listened a lot to what the firefighters and the firefighting community was needing. So it was really, really powerful. And then it got to the point where I noticed how good I felt when I was doing anything involved with that, with firefighters. And the motivation wasn't because I wanted to start a business and have more time. It became really about wanting to add value and wanting to help from a much deeper place. And as a therapist for a long time before that, that's a weird thing to say, right? Like I'd always wanted to help, but this was much more internal. Like I felt so good when I was in that community or seeing those clients that it was something different than just helping people.
Sure. That's one aspect of your business, right? And you right now, we've developed a business that's sustainable, that is super purpose-driven, where you make more money, where you work a lot less time. It's a lot more impactful, if you will. It's a lot more enjoyable. What has it been like for you to develop this business where you, well, first of all, how do you feel financially now? And what is it like to have a business that feels amazing in terms of the hours that you work and the purpose that you get from it?
I mean, the one word as you're talking is like, it's really fun, and everything is much like, I get off a appointment with a client and I just feel like jazzed up. I feel good. I feel like excited about who they are, the work we're doing. Financially, I don't have any stress about finances anymore. I used to freak out, as you might remember, and really for no reason, just because it made me nervous. So financially, I feel like calm. And clients just keep showing up and things just keep getting better, which is really a strange thing to even hear myself saying. It's just really fun. Like I get, and it's not always joy. The clients I work with there's some really sad stuff. So a lot of times it's deeply moving and profound and tearful, but I just like what I'm doing so much more. I'm having fun. There's joy in it.
What does it feel like to hear the stories of the people that are working with you that are saving their marriages, that are literally stopping thinking about suicide, that are really moving forward? How does that feel?
I'm gonna start crying because it's amazing. Because sometimes I can't believe that it's me that gets to be doing that with them, and it means that like what I'm doing is worth something, and families are changing, and people are not killing themselves when they come in really on the edge. So it's deeply moving.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
As a last question, Margaret, I'd love for you to share your experience. There's every time that I do one of those case studies, people who are looking at this and say, I've seen his case studies, who the fuck is this work guy with an accent? and
Internet guy.
I remember. Who are scared of investing in themselves, who don't know how hard this work is going to be, etc. And who are really on the edge of deciding whether they want to commit to doing the work that it takes to get to the place where you are right now, which is an amazing place. What would you tell these women who are on the brink of that in terms of your experience for what we've done together, what you've seen that I've done with other women? What would you tell them?
That there is no other person that has as much integrity and commitment to helping clients move them along to their vision as you. There isn't. So I've known a lot of people in the helping professions, and you never have wavered once. I mean, you held me accountable. You held me to a vision that sometimes I let go of, and that and just the integrity and the love in which you've supported me, and the tough love in which you've supported is that I have no comparison. I have no comparison. And times when I didn't believe things were possible, and you kicked my ass to make sure that I stopped feeling sorry for myself. And I've seen it happen not only with me, but a lot of people that you've worked with.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Every that you've worked with.
What would you tell people in terms of their financial investment? Because that's something that they always worry about. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to invest money myself. I've never done that before. What would you tell them in terms of what you've experiencing right now?
I was just thinking about this the other day because I never really blinked. I mean, I blinked in the beginning at the financial investment. I remember I freaked out. But then I was thinking about, okay, how much money have I spent in the time that I've worked with you? And how good is it that I feel? And is there, it sounds cheesy, but there is actually no price tag for how good I feel, because I didn't know I could feel this good. I didn't know I could actually have a sustainable business. And in terms of the joy of who I am as a mother and a human being and a helper, that is like whatever. Like that's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. So yeah, it's worth it. To have your life back, to have my life back is just what you're charging is chump change.
Well, there's no words to describe the pride that I have in. Because I've seen you go through so much shit to get to where you are right now, and to have this conversation in this way, and for you to be able to stand up here beyond the money that you're making right now and beyond the stuff that you have, just the human being that you have to become to be able to get to this place where you stand up with your head up high and helping change lives with you change them. There's nothing I could tell you in terms of how proud I am of you and how much you've done and how much you're impacting people's lives. And so I am so grateful and so honored to have you in my life. Thank you so much.